Assalomu alaykum hammaga. Bugun Deniz Kalishkin bilan suhbat o'tkazamiz. Investorlarning muammolari, investitsiya qilishdagi qiyinchiliklar haqida suhbatlashamiz. Savol berishga Aloqa Ventures'dan Abrorbekni taklif qilganmiz. Savol-javobimiz professional bo'lishi uchun. Okay, so today we are honored to have special guest Deniz Kalishkin. Hello, Mr. Deniz. And he's an investor, mentor, whom I deeply respect. So not only for his expertise, but also for his character. So today we are, just a minute. Okay. So today we are going to talk about key challenges investors face during the investment process. To enrich the conversation, I have also invited Mr. Abror, a venture analyst from Aloqa Ventures. Can you hear me, Abrorbek?
Yes, thank you, Aloqa, for inviting. It's a great honor to be on this podcast. Thank you.
Okay. Hello, Mr. Deniz. Great to have you here.
Yeah, thanks for having me today. I'd be happy to share my insights with you today.
And I would like to congratulate you with Eiralo being unicorn. It's great success.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, probably I can start with a brief introduction about myself, so that people better understand. So I'm a principal, so investment director, so to say, in the U.S. venture capital ITBF Global Ventures, and I've been working in ITBF for 11 years. Mostly we invest in early stage U.S. companies or companies doing business in the United States. We have more than 140 companies, portfolio companies. Some of them are public, some of them are unicorns, some of them were acquired. For example, we sold one company to Tesla. And over this 11-year experience of me working for the VC, I've seen many successful startups. I've seen many business practices which are applied in the United States and in California specifically. And for the last almost 6 years now, I've been running media projects for CVC, Ask VC. So I'm calling from this Telegram channel. You can subscribe to it if you wish. But aside from working as an investor, I also share my knowledge about how VCs are making their investment decisions and what startup founders should account for. Yeah, so I'd be happy to share the insights with you. Yeah, and by the way, if you will be watching this, so we're also doing a big conference next week. I'm inviting, it will be in Russian. Almost 200 people are registered. I'm inviting my friends from other VCs. So if you want to join, like, feel free to join. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, Leila, let's go jump to your questions. So please guide our conversation today.
Okay, that's great. So as I told you before, I have invested Mr. Abrorbek. So I will give the floor to him. Abrorbek,
Hi, Denise. Thank you very much for the introduction. First of all, congrats again on the unicorn status. That's great to hear. I guess to start off, I'm sorry, I'm hearing myself. Is the audio quality good in your end?
Everything good on my end. I hear you perfectly.
Okay. I guess it would be a good starting point if you could shed some lights on your investment philosophy before we jump into the challenges of investors.
Yeah. So ITBF is an early stage venture capital. So we have several investment pillars in our strategy. The first is transforming a legacy, outdated, boring industry. So, like, it could be any industry, starting from construction, manufacturing, and logistics, all the way down to funeral agencies, pharma companies, etc., etc. And typically, the startups which we back leverage software solutions for improving efficiency in those industries. It could be machine learning, it could be crypto, it could be just pure SaaS businesses. But for example, one of the good examples in our portfolio is a company, Service Titan. So they provide a field service management solution for plumbers, electricians, and other home service businesses in the United States. And the company is public, like more than $6 billion in capitalization, market capitalization. So this is one big chunk of investments which we do. And for us, typically we target companies which already have revenue, monthly recurring revenue of I don't know, about $20,000 and more. In the United States. So that's one pillar which we do. The other thing we do is deep tech and mutual investments. We don't make much investments annually, like that. But these are these are the solutions for robotics, energy sectors, etc. And the latest investment is a company where the Nobel Prize winner technology is used for sort of nanotechnology solution. And the third thing we do is new media, social media, new content delivery platforms and entertainment. I'm personally not that much involved in this part of our portfolio, but just to give you a perspective, this is an early stage investments in all sorts of new social media in the United States, all sorts of content production tools, etc. For example, one of the biggest win in portfolio is our company Fubo TV. So it's a Netflix for sports events in the United States. So the company is also public. You could look more and read more about the company. Yeah. Did I cover your question, or would you like?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's great. That's great. Thanks for the thanks for the answer. Over the 11 years of your endeavor, with 400 million AUM, you've invested in multiple sectors, right? ML, AA, Internet of Things, AR, VR, deep tech, B2B SaaS. Which one of those sectors were the most successful in your view?
So first thing you need to understand that the past success is not prerequisite for the success in the future.
Sure.
So everything moves in waves. But so far, for us, one biggest wins were around vertical SaaS solutions for the legacy industries. But I'm pretty sure that the new wave of companies in our portfolio will be about vertical AI solutions in those outdated legacy industries, probably some horizontal solutions. So what I'm saying is that the market always changes, and what was a startup 10 years ago, now it's an operational business. For example, when I started working in venture capital in 2011, it was previously I was working in another fund. So in 2011, people were investing in e-commerce and in mobile apps. But while now it's just a commodity thing to build yet another app, and you can't raise money for startups like that. That's what I want.
Got it.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Everything is changing, and new wave of technologies probably coming.
Yeah, absolutely agreed on this. The markets change, the adaptability comes in. That's true. So we're talking about challenges that investors face today. Personally, on your end, what were your challenges in your endeavor?
You mean what are the
As a
challenges
VC investor, you've faced over the past 11 years, like the biggest challenges you can highlight, and what are the challenges you're facing right now, if any?
There are many challenges you face. One of the biggest is around the quality of portfolio and not the quality of portfolio, but the quality of incoming leads. And so you take like many calls with startups, but out of two or 300 calls, you just make only one investment. So this informational overload, which especially grew after the COVID. So that's one of the challenges. Yes, thanks to AI, now we also start to adopt some, LLM agents which are helping out to solve this problem. But we are not here yet. But why I'm stressing on this one particularly, because most of you are startup founders, which probably listen to us today, and it will help you to understand that when you reach out to a venture capitalist, and you say, for example, just today, a guy wrote to me, "Hey, are you investing in startups?" Yeah, I'm investing in startups. Okay, could you invest in mine? Okay, send me some information, and you make a communication of sending 3 to 4 messages before you're getting somewhere. And then I get information about the startup, which is totally irrelevant to what I do. So my advice to people who are contacting.
Is it just me or I lost Denise?
No, I think Denise, just a minute.
Okay.
Sorry, I got disconnected. The basic advice here is, if you want to grab attention and to schedule a call while contacting with us with a VC, be straight to the point. First, it's better to understand who exactly you're addressing and what's the investment thesis of the fund. Do they invest in companies like yours or not? And then keep this introduction short and right to the point. So if you want to talk to a VC about a potential investment, say boldly, I'd like to raise funding like $200,000, for example, for building this and this, and is that something which is in your mandate? I'd be happy to make a call instead of asking this, polite questions and keeping the conversation sending 2 or 3, 5 messages. And most VCs just could ignore such very general messages just because of informational overload. Yeah.
All right.
Mrs. Denise?
Yes.
We also have participants joining from other ventures, and we have from Yoshlar Ventures, Shazodbek. I want to give floor to him also. He has
Okay.
Okay, Shazodbek, you can speak.
Good time of day, Denise. I'm not sure where you're at right now. My name is Shazar, and I'm a startup analyst, / venture associate at the Yoshlar Ventures. It's good to be connected and kind of get an experience, and with the more experienced VC players. My question is, I just wanted to kind of get a perspective on how do you evaluate the startups based on their stage? What is your evaluation approach?
Yeah, thanks for the question. It's not the question. It's easy and fast to cover over several minutes. And by the way, for those who are interested, I do a free course, Venture Analysts. It's in Russian, and I'm starting it in August, so you can join for free. And I describe the framework. But so the framework has more than 20 data points you need to analyze. But if we look at one of the most important data points is that we're looking into the team, how experienced is the team, why they could become number one in this market. We analyze the market opportunity, so the size of the market and the trends which are leading the adoption of the solution right now. So why now is the right moment. Then we assess the barriers to entry. So why someone can't copy you or can copy, but it will be very, pricey or takes time. So essentially, we try to answer why your team could become player number one on the market. And if, for example, if you're planning to operate on the US market, but you're not operating right now, so we assess the strategy, the go-to-market, how you plan to tackle the market. How do you plan to start sales on the market, and if it's something we believe in or not. So in short, I would describe it that way. And of course, we look into traction, into metrics. For example, for SaaS businesses, we look into unit economics, so do cohort analysis, and trying to understand if the retention in your product is good enough. So for vertical SaaS businesses, for example, churn. Monthly churn should be around 1%, 2%, 3% monthly. Otherwise, it's not sustainable in our view. Yeah, so that's like in short how I would answer to the question.
Thank you. If I don't mind, I have one more follow-up question.
Sure.
As I have a long-term goal of doing my own venture firm, and kind of wanted to get an advice from you. What approach or selling point is the key to getting LPs?
So for most of the participants, they could be not familiar with the term LPs or limited partners. So I'll briefly describe what it is. So venture capital do not invest their own money. Venture capital is a management company. They're taking money from so-called limited partners or LPs, so investors, and then they deploy this capital. So if you want to build your own VC and raise money from LPs, so the first thing you need to show is first thing investors buy is actually your previous results. So if you do good, if you worked in a venture capital which provided good returns, and you could prove that okay, I was part that there were some meaningful deals which I did, or so investors try to understand: can you really provide good financial returns for the fund? Because more than half of the funds globally, they actually lose money. So they don't return money more than they return money to investors less than investors provided. The other thing is actually this business is about trust and networking. So to build LP base, it will take you like few years, sometimes like 5 years, so that people gradually communicate with you, see your progress, and then gradually start to decide to grant you money. And of course, at every given fund, investors are buying your strategy, because even like one venture capital could be raised in several funds, and one fund has one thesis, another fund has another thesis, so types of the companies which are investing in, and you describe them the strategy and prove them why you believe the strategy will provide great returns, like showing some trends, showing some successful cases from your experience, or from successful investments and start companies in the niche which provide the idea of why and how successful could be such companies. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Denis. So, Mr. Abrovic, do you have another question?
I was thinking of how to structure our podcast so that it's beneficial for both the founders that are on this call and the VCs with us. I guess we start with VC side of things. Denise, you understand the typical venture capital process, right? There's this sourcing,
Yes.
there's this due diligence, it comes to the negotiation part, then you actually invest in startups, and then it comes the post-deal management, and then the juiciest part is the exit, right? You mentioned one of your portfolio companies got acquired by Tesla, which is great. But among these processes, which one of these do you focus mostly? Like, are you focused on all of them, like equally, or do you
Personally, myself, I'm more focused on finding deals, closing deals, and operating with a portfolio. So, of course, I had experience of working with raising money from LPs, but it's done more like the partners of the fund are more involved in this process. So finding new deals, investing in new deals, and supporting portfolio companies after investment. These are the things which I mainly do at UGF.
Because from my experience, I feel like startups, for example, within our portfolio, there are like 57 startups, and I feel like post-deal management is something that we need to focus on more to drive some growth in those startups. Are you like in your work? Are you like focused on post-deal management as well?
Look, this also
Is it more like passive?
It all depends on the quality of the pipeline. So if we talk about so first of all, I lived for 2 years in Uzbekistan and talked to a lot of startups. So one of the challenges startup founders from Uzbekistan have, they often lack experience of running businesses internationally. So they have of course, if you have this portfolio, you need to invest heavily in helping out your portfolio companies to succeed. Some of you do like acceleration programs or mentoring, etc. It's just a must for the market. But for the US market, it's less relevant, especially for in our niche, because there's so much content around how to build those vertical SaaS startups, and we pick founders which are more like they more or less know how to run business, so they have more so typical process is, okay, I take a call with the founder every quarter to know the results. If they have some requests, for example, one portfolio company just recently reached out to me and said like, okay, we scaled from 11 people to 30, and now we're building processes inside of the team, and we're thinking about, do we really need a CTO, or programmers would report directly to chief product officer as it is now? How we approach this? And what I suggested is, okay, I have a few friends who were CTOs, so let me organize you the calls. You ask all of your questions, and you probably, after this consultation, you will understand how to do it better. But it's almost impossible to be involved deeply in your startups when you have a portfolio of 140 companies. Just to take calls will take you half of your time. Yeah, so that's the approach, and actually many VCs, they operate that way. So added value is not it's added value when we talk about like many VCs in the United States is not that they are operationally running your business. They actually don't really want to involve in this and scared a little bit. So the only players which are deeply involved in the process of helping to build business are actually venture studios. But the venture studios, they can't originate and invest many startups annually. So they can like invest 6 to 10 companies annually, just because the business model is very operational, and otherwise it doesn't work well. Did I answer to the question?
Yeah. Okay. It did. Thank you very much for the insights. And I think one of the greatest challenges that we local VCs in Uzbekistan face is within the venture capital process is the exit, right? We have had a few exits before, but it's not as robust as, say, in Europe or the United States. How do you see the exit environment develop in Uzbekistan? And what are the things you'd like to see for the exits to be more robust than it is right now?
Thank you for the question. It's really a relevant question. And actually, you have the same problem, exactly the same as many countries have. Because the problem with Uzbekistan is just the local market is small in many niches. For you to understand, like, for example, I talked to a company which are doing something similar to Orzon Apteka, software solution. So we analyzed the market size, and the market size from at least from our analysis in Uzbekistan was $2 million annually. Like investors want $1 billion market, and in Uzbekistan, like very few markets which could be of this size. So this is why you can't in most of the cases of the startups which are saying like, okay, I started my business in Uzbekistan, they can't do big business just because of the size of the market. And then I understand why people say, why entrepreneurs say, okay, I will start business in Uzbekistan, because they understand the market. Probably some of them have never been abroad, and they don't understand how to build a business. I'm heading to the question of exits, because these are the two relevant things. And then they say, okay, we'll start in Uzbekistan, then we'll expand to Kazakhstan and Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan. So that's the strategy. This is also not the strategy investors like, just because more or less the same problem as with the Uzbek market. So to tackle the problem of earning money is the first question is to tackle the problem of investing in startups which are addressing big markets. So to like the successful startups, and actually many successful companies, like for example Miro from Russia, they solved the problem exactly the same way. So they expanded to the US market and European markets, and this is how they became like several $billion in valuation company, and raised from great VCs. And when you operate on international market, you will have international exit opportunities. Unfortunately, the local market, I don't see any reason that in foreseeable future it will become a big big M&A market. Yes, there will be several M&As here and there, but
for synergy.
But they wouldn't be like very huge, just because there are not that many acquirers who could pay like $100 million for the company. For example, Click was purchased for some order of such deals, as far as I remember. But most of the companies, they just don't have enough money to invest, to acquire, to make such strategic acquiring. And when you have like like here in Uzbekistan, understand
Yeah.
how like to trade, right? So if you
Right.
have very few people you could trade with, like to negotiate with, of course they will demand the discount. So this is what's
Right.
happening with the local M&A. And international investors, they very rarely want to acquire some businesses in your country, only in the cases when it's very relevant. I don't know, for whatever
Right.
reason, you know. So yeah, so that's what I would say. The government, your government, is doing the best they can to make this capital market work more efficiently and provide more opportunities for M&A. But it's a very challenging task with many limitations. So you as a startup founder, what I would recommend is to operate on a bigger market. It doesn't mean that you need like relocate from Uzbekistan.
Right.
Or yeah, you can open an office like in an IT park with very great you know, tax preferences and, you know, high good quality of life, etc. But this R&D office, back office, etc., will be working to generate revenue
Right.
outside Uzbekistan, and this is how like I would recommend those who are listening to us to tackle this problem of you know, provide an exit for investors.
Okay, thank you so
Thanks.
much. And we now welcome any questions or comments from the audience. Please feel free to contribute. And Mr. Denis, if possible, could you briefly share your experience with Airalo investment? So what made it stand out, and what can us investors or founders learn from that case, please?
To be honest, I wasn't in charge of this deal, so I would like my the information will be limited. But so far as I remember, they had first of all a very experienced team. Then they had this market opportunity because eSIM was just like released at the time, which was around they launched the company, because of course travel SIM cards have been on the market for a while, but previously to eSIMs, the experience was not that. The experience was had very friction because you had to get a physical card, SIM card to install and have those tariffs. And while eSIM provided like seamless experience of, you know, uploading it to your mobile phone and get it right at the moment when you're at the airport. And of course, it was all about execution of the team, because they faced problems working in post-COVID world. So COVID, they launched before COVID. So during the COVID, travels died, and that was very big challenge for the company. But thanks for the team, their execution, they like a phoenix. They not only survived but reassembled themselves and built a big company. Yeah, so that's story. And by the way, one of the founders is originally from Turkey. So this is the case where you see that people outside the United States could build international businesses. So it could be inspiring for all of you who listen to us today.
Okay, thank you so much. So what signals or red flags in the first meeting make you almost instantly decide or not to proceed, even the startup looks good on paper?
Oh, first of all, any meeting is about first impression. Sometimes you can even see that okay, person has like is a Stanford alumni, but when they come to the meeting and they start to tell you their story, why they are doing something, you see that they are not really motivated to do that. or they are not deep into this market. So when you ask questions, you feel like I don't believe they will build this business. The other question sometimes, and this founders do a lot, they hide ugly naked truth of that they don't have revenue or have very small revenue. So they are talking about booked revenue, potential revenue, etc., etc. So they hide this information, but you discover it after the first meeting, and you say, well, okay, realistically, we can talk with this team only a year later, just because we don't believe they could fix it in a month or two. This would be, I wouldn't say red flags, but the reasons why, when you understand, like after several, minutes or 10 minutes of the conversation, that it's not going anywhere.
Okay, thank you so much. So we have several startups join us today, so feel free to ask your questions. If you have any questions, just raise your hand. You are welcome to ask, guys.
Yeah, I would also strongly urge startups to ask questions because Denise touched upon the scaling up the startups to be able to get acquired later in the startup's life cycle, right? So I would strongly urge the listeners to ask questions about different things, maybe growth or acquisition, anything.
Hello, I've got a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
How do VCs or LPs approach to pivots of startups after raising money?
Now, when I started working in venture capital, my boss taught me a lesson. He said, there is no startup without a pivot. So especially in the United States, people are more open to failures and and how entrepreneurs manage it. So it's okay to make a pivot, many our portfolio companies do pivots or go through challenging times. I told you about Irala. They had challenging times in their history, but they became unicorns. So investors typically are built for failures and for some problems startup founders face. But we are built for that to a certain point. So, for example, so first of all, like you make an investment in a startup took money, spend a part of this money, and understands that they need to pivot. We say, okay, like let's try it. But after you make a pivot, we'd better to see that after this pivot, when you're getting to the next round, that the pivot is more or less successful. Otherwise, you will if you come and say, okay, we spent 6 months, we pivoted many times, it still doesn't work. Please give us more money to continue our experiments. Sometimes investors it all depends on how persuasive you are. But sometimes investors would say, okay, we will give you like a little bit cash to continue experiments. But in some cases, they can say, okay, we are a little bit tired of those experiments we took. So it's time to write off the company. And this is how I would answer to your question.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Okay, Mr. Denise, so we already have enough venture funds in our ecosystem, but how can we stimulate the growth of quality startups in Uzbekistan, for example?
So I believe that you can learn many things from Kazakhstan, how they did it, because they started previously. So first of all, I believe, and I already told this, like I've been talking about this for a couple of years. So you need to take first, like, I don't know, 100 startups, like most strong teams for future startups, and help them to push internationally. So at least take take them to the conferences, for example, in Europe or United States or Asia, and help to understand their limiting factors and help them help them find necessary advisors to service providers to hack the market. So this is where would be the most important point for the growth. Yeah, but I don't know. Probably for the last year something changed, but for the 2 years when I lived in Uzbekistan, startup founders still were saying, okay, we'll start from Uzbek market, we'll see how it goes. And then they were thinking about, oh, no one invests in my startup. Why? Yeah, and and that was a vicious circle. I hope it will change, because you're not the only country facing this problem. Like many countries went through this track, and yeah, and I hope that some of you who listens to me today will be inspired by this, and you will try to extend to another market and build a successful business.
Okay, thank you so much. Please, Jonovic.
Yeah. What are your advices for the startups whose competitors are stronger and, let's say, started earlier in that field?
Yeah, it's a very specific, very important question, but I need to set up the right the right parameters. When you say that startups started earlier, how many months or years before they started?
Again, more than 1 year.
A year, 1 year is okay. 1 to 2 year could be a tenth. But if they started 5 years ago and raised $10 million or $20 million, then you are probably late for the party. So more or less, competitors raise funding like simultaneously. So if there is an opportunity on the market, and this is why I always ask what has changed in the market, why now is the right moment for your startup. Because if the parameters are right, then probably your competitors, if they started 3 years ago, they already raised more than $10 million. So so the first question is like how early they started and where they got. So for example, if you are you started 2 years ago, you most probably, there are exclusions, but most probably your company has only $1 or $2 million in revenue, and it means that they haven't grabbed even 1% of the market. So it means that you still can win the market, but you need to understand like your competitive advantages. And if you feel that you have some problems, first problem would be like you have a smaller user base, but what are the other problems? I don't know. You don't have very good salesperson in your team. This is why you can't execute better than your competitors. Then you need to identify the problems you have and come up with the solutions how to fix them. So if you don't have experience of selling in the United States, you could probably find a co-founder who lives in the United States, started in Berkeley, for example, and could be pushing the sales for your business. So it's a very good question. It's a multifactorial question, and depending on the specific use case, the recommendations would be different. Okay. Do you want to add something like probably that is more specific about your case specifically?
Yeah, I would say the market is still empty. I mean, there is still gaps we can fill in the market, but their advantage is they already developed some really good products, and they already have bigger use basement.
How many is it B2B or B2C product?
Yeah, they only did the B2C,
Okay.
but they didn't have the B2B service. So,
Okay. And how much money they raised, and how many users do they have?
so I'm just talking about like local market. So they raised like more than 30,000 users.
They have 30,000 users in Uzbekistan, right?
Yeah.
And how many users potentially live in Uzbekistan?
Yeah, probably more than 100,000.
100,000. That means they keep already third of the market, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that will be a pretty stiff competition. And how much do you charge per user?
No, Jeff, we are just, as I said, we are a new startup, so we are just starting.
Okay,
We
so
haven't
how much do they charge per user
per
month?
So it's not the monthly basis. It's paying they like by the
Okay, so how much they earn per user per year?
I don't know.
Okay, $10, $100, $1,000 per user. Like this, the order.
Is I think. Let's see the price. It's like it's like the users they and all. I know they have, yeah.
That for they they charge product is $3 million, for example, 3 or 5. So what I'm saying is exactly what I've previously mentioned, that the local market is very small. You can't build a huge business in Uzbekistan alone, given the parameters you've showed. So it's a good, dividend. It could be a good dividend business, but if you want to raise investments and want to to have an exit, it's not enough. So in a way, it means that you will need to build you will need to expand your solution on other markets. And given that your competitors have a pretty strong presence on your local market, but the local market is small, so probably it's a better idea to look at a bigger market. So this is what I would see. So far as I understand, you are at the very beginning of your journey, so probably I would reassess, the starting point. So probably it's better to do something like, I don't know, in Indonesia or in Brazil or in somewhere in Europe. I don't know. So depending on what they're doing, there could be various ways to answer to your question. Do you want to ask anything else?
Yeah, it's content. Sorry.
Warm
Yeah, go ahead.
college. Okay.
Добрый день, у меня был вопрос.
Да, давайте.
Если у проекта есть MVP и понятная идея в целом, стратегия и бизнес-план, но пока нет никаких юзеров и трекшена, то есть качественного подтвержденного спроса, сколько аудитория готова дать, если вообще нужен продукт. Я как маркетолог сама понимаю, что на рынке нет точно такого же узконаправленного продукта, но есть аналогичные продукты. Вот. И насколько это будет интересно инвестору на такой ранней стадии?
Ну, на такой ранней стадии, скорее всего, неинтересно будет. А что нужно сделать для того, чтобы первых, ну, то есть вы рынок исследовали, что нужно, чтобы первую выручку получить?
Вначале нужно привлечь, так как самих юзеров нет, это требует немножко финансов, потому что...
Смотрите, Фариза, обычно, если вы это B2C продукт, правильно?
Да.
Но обычно в B2C продуктах, если вы как бы понимаете, что вы делаете, можно первых 100 пользователей привлечь бесплатно. Если вы не знаете, где 100 пользователей бесплатно привлечь, то, скорее всего, вы недостаточно хорошо понимаете, как этот рынок сделать. Вот. Поэтому первое, о чем нужно подумать, я знаете что, я вот могу Лейла прислать, у нас как раз было с моим другом-маркетологом, диджитал-маркетологом в Яндексе работал, как раз беседа на тему построения маркетинга для стартапов. И вот все думают, что стартапу нужно сразу привлечь денег на маркетинг. На самом деле первое какое-то количество пользователей платящих вы получаете вообще практически с нулевыми затратами на маркетинг. Вот, Лейла, видео на русском я скину вам. Вы
Хорошо.
Просто я беру тот слой населения, который чуть ниже среднего имеет доход.
Ну, это хорошо, но вы как бы должны тогда знать, как до них дотянуться дешево.
Есть стратегия определенная, для этого нужно... Но чтобы войти в их доверие, нужно как бы нанимать определенных людей. Инфлюенс-маркетинг все-таки нужно будет подключать.
Ну, смотрите, потому что это означает, что вначале, то есть как стартапы, фаундеры начинают, вы просто сами ходите им продаете. Если вы этого не можете сделать, значит, у вас нет конкурентного преимущества, чтобы в эту нишу войти. Ну, возьмите, не знаю, инфлюенсеров все в команду, я не знаю, ну или как. А что за аудитория-то? Ну, вот кто люди?
Это более социальный проект, это поддержка женщин в микробизнесе, то есть, которые умеют...
Соответственно, ваш клиент на самом деле не B2C. Ваш клиент – это всякие организации государственные, UNDP. Вы приходите с UNDP, договариваетесь, они вам выделяют какие-то, не знаю, $10 тысяч или $5 тысяч на реализацию первого проекта и берете, делаете, реализуете этот проект. А потом как-то дотягиваетесь до этих людей. В вашем случае социального интерпренершипа можно очень много всего бесплатно получить. Вот правда вам говорю. Потому что, в принципе, прожив 2 года в Узбекистане, я знаю, что, по крайней мере, на словах всякие инициативы для женщин-предпринимательниц, они поддерживаются. То есть, в принципе, есть какое-то количество людей, с которыми вы можете договориться там, по бартеру или еще что-то, где можно спуститься.
Это, скорее всего, обратиться уже к государственным фондам инвестиций.
Не обязательно. Я вот знаю, мы даже ездили на встречу, год-полтора назад, девушка была, она делала Women MBA. Забыл, как ее зовут, можно поискать. Но она прям делает школу, где как раз женщин, которые делают обычные там бизнесы, типа ткацких там и прочих, вот она их там обучает основам маркетинга, основам бухгалтерии и всяким таким вещам. Поэтому даже есть, и это частная инициатива. То есть, тут не нужны финансирования для того, чтобы это стартовать.
А насколько будет важен трекшн, то есть и вот этот спрос?
Что продукт делает? Как он работает фактически? Это мобильное приложение, это курсы?
Это лендинг-пейдж? Нет, аналогичный продукт HeadHunter, только узконаправленный именно для женщин и не такие профессиональные, а в целом как бы платформа, где находят женщин, которые предоставляют им услуги, а они как бы размещают свои карточки.
Ну, смотрите, вам для того, чтобы стартовать, фактически надо начать как агентство. То есть вам нужно какое-то количество вот этих женщин, во-первых, выделить, какой-то, как-то сгруппировать, да, как-то вот, ну, какую-то подкатегорию женщин выделить, ну, не знаю, которые, ну, не знаю, там, одним, ну, допустим, не знаю, ткачеством занимаются, да, или, не знаю,
Да.
наоборот, там, готовую еду, готовят тортики там, через Инстаграм продают. Вы их выделите, с ними поработаете, да, то есть найдете какое-то количество таких вот женщин, очень узкая такая ниша, вот, и попробуйте найти им клиентов. Ну, то есть для того, чтобы ваш бизнес запустить, на самом деле ваш MVP вашего этого, да, хорошо, если лендинг-пейдж, у вас на самом деле телеграм-канал ваш MVP, то есть самое главное в вашем бизнесе это какое-то количество этих женщин найти и найти для них какое-то количество спроса и получить, заработать на этом деньги. Вот, я могу сказать так, что, ну не ровно в вашей нише, но такие MVP я делал сам, и это, ну, как бы можно дойти до приличных денег вообще без каких-то вложений в рекламу. Вы просто берете, не знаю, в Махалю заходите и идете к главу Махали и говорите, слушайте, кто у вас тут из 10 тысяч, да, выделите на там Фариду, еще кто там, да, с ними поговорю. Вот, просто, ну, нужно просто на земле, так сказать, с ними поработать.
Спасибо.
Пожалуйста. Okay, we have 5 minutes left, so I don't know, does anyone have any other questions?
Okay, feel free to ask.
Okay, if nobody has questions, I had one interesting one. So Denise, I have this portfolio company at our fund. I'm the project manager working closely with them. So it's fitness tech, vertical SaaS, B2B, offering ERP solutions to fitness studios. They have like 300 studios already using their ERP. All of them, like I would say 95% of them are based in Uzbekistan. And when I talked to the founder to learn more about their vision, he said, I'm not going global until I conquer Uzbekistan market. Is that a good approach, or should they be thinking globally on day one? What do you think?
So sad to acknowledge that, but probably you will lose money on this one. And
I'm sorry, say that again?
You will probably lose money on this one. So you wouldn't be at if there is this focus, and the focus I will be conquering the local market. So how many studios are there in Uzbekistan?
I would say so in Tashkent there's 475, about 3,000.
3,000. How much do they charge monthly?
They have different plans, but on average they're charging like 450,000, about like $30, which is very little, but they want to like grab the market with very little pricing strategy.
Okay, so they will earn like $400 annually per studio, and there are 3,000 studios, so it's $1.2 million, right? Annually, you could earn on they
Right.
could, yeah. So that's the size of the market. So they could build a small business. Probably, if they will be lucky enough, they could. They will still have time to, to expand to other markets. But this is the question of the mindset of the entrepreneur. And you can advise here, but you can't push them. So if for whatever reason they are not ready for that, then like I don't know. So and this is why most of investors, when you say them, okay, we'll start in Uzbekistan and they will expand to the other countries. This is why investors don't invest, because of such situations. So they try to pick investors, startup founders who have who have bigger ambitions.
Yeah, I was advising because they have the resources to scale up, right? To set up sales team in Caucasus region, for example, or in CIS regions. But this was the comment that I received that I was like, I think we should go global and try to increase our awareness, attend events.
But
So
okay, so there are many parameters and factors. Like probably need a better, like deeper conversation than
yeah.
right now. So if you, for whatever reason, you need this conversation, you could ping me personally, and we will find the format if I can help here. But long story short, if the entrepreneur is not ready, doesn't want to, so you can't force them. It's just
Right. True.
Mhm.
Got it. Thank you, Denise, for your insights. Appreciate it.
okay.
Okay, Mr. Denise, thank you for your time and dedication for developing the startup ecosystem. Your efforts are making real impact, and this channel is a reflection of your impact as well. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Okay,
Thank you for having me.
we'll upload this talk onto YouTube, and I will send you a link. Okay.
Yeah, thank you, Layla. Thanks for having me today. Bye-bye.
Okay, thank you for your time. Bye. Hammaga rahmat ishtirok uchun. Tokni YouTube formasini YouTubega yuklab, linkini tashlab qo'yamiz guruhga. Sog' bo'linglar.